Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Yes, Jamal. How are you? So today I've come with a word of encouragement. I'm not going to put music at the beginning. I'm just going to put audio Bible to read a few verses.
Jesus prays on the Mount of Olives. Then, accompanied by the disciples, Jesus left the upstairs room and went as usual to the Mount of Olives. There he told them, "Pray that you will not give in to temptation." He walked away about a stone's throw and knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, please take this cup of suffering away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine." Then an angel from heaven appeared and strengthened him. He prayed more fervently, and he was in such agony of spirit that his sweat fell to the ground like great drops of blood. At last he stood up again and returned to the disciples, only to find them asleep, exhausted from grief. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray, so that you will not give in to temptation." Jesus is betrayed and arrested. But even as Jesus said this, a crowd approached, led by Judas, one of the 12.
Right, so I only wanted to cover from Luke 22, verse 39, where it talks about Jesus when he was about to be taken away and being crucified. There is a sentence there that kind of like touched me. There's a sentence there that kind of like touched me for what Jesus said. So from 39, he said, the Bible said, then he accompanied by the disciples. Jesus left upstairs room and went as usual to Mount Olives. There he taught them, "Pray that you will not give in into temptation." He walked away about a stone throw, then knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, please take this cup away of suffering away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine." This is in Luke, but if I read from the book of Matthew, the book of Matthew 26, chapter 36, it says, "Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane. He said to them, 'Sit here while I go over there and pray.' He took Peter and the two sons Zebedee along with him. The two sons of Zebedee along with him. He began to be sad and troubled. He began to be sad and troubled. Then he said to them, 'My soul is very sad, and I feel close to death. Stay here and keep watch with me.'" So there away he said, my soul is very sad and troubled. My soul is very sad and troubled. Stay here and keep watch with me. I wanted to, the Holy Spirit led me to come and talk to you, brethren, and encourage you. And also ask, when you are going through a tough time, when you are going through a difficult time, how do you deal with it? Because this time, Jesus was troubled. He felt that he was going close to death. He could sense there is a time that in your life you will feel that things are really bad at the moment. You will feel that I'm maybe going to die, This moment, Jesus knew that any time from now, those people are coming to take me and they are going to kill me. But what did he do? So that is where I want to discuss with you. That when you are going through that tough time, like, what do you do? Like, who do you turn to? So when I was reading this story of Jesus, the way it is, it turns out that Jesus looked for support from the disciples. He asked for the support from the disciples. He took 3 disciples with him when he was going to go and pray. So he took the 3 disciples with him. But when he took them with him, still he had to separate himself from them. And went, a little bit. He wanted to have some time away from these people and pray to God by himself. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is that when you are going through that tough time, when you are going through that difficult sad time, that time that you feel like you've tried everything and things are not working out, yes, you need your friends, but you also need some time whereby you will separate yourself from them. So you have to take time to pray. Jesus, as a son of God, he could have just stayed there and say, oh, my Father knows what I'm going through. But he took time to go and pray, because there was a time that he felt that what was happening to him was too much, that he wanted to ask his Father to reconsider what he had agreed to do. So he went and said, Father, if it is possible, can you please take this away from me? But not my will, but I want your will to be done. So when you are going through that tough time, what do you do? Do you lean on to people? Like, do you tend to call people and say, a friend and pour your frustrations out to them? Because Jesus, as it says, that his heart was troubled with sadness, with grief. Imagine when you've lost somebody all of a sudden and you are troubled with grief. That's the time that Jesus, when he was about to be killed, that's the time that he went and kneeled down and started praying to God. It was the time that he went and poured his heart out to God. That was the time that he went and took all his frustrations. That was the time that he went and asked all the questions to God. That was the time that he went to say, Father, if it is possible, take this away from me, because it is too much. He was with the disciples, but he didn't go to them and say, look, what is happening to me? I don't know why my Father is allowing this to happen to me. He didn't do that to the disciples. He told them, he told them what was going to happen, but he didn't take all his frustrations to them, because they were not going to sort out anything. Okay, he asked them to accompany him to go and pray. He said, pray for me, pray with me, watch with me, so that you don't get into temptation. But the moment he left them, they fell asleep. So you've got those friends that you trust, you've got those friends that you count on. Sometimes they tell you that I'm going to pray for you, I'm with you in prayers, but they don't pray for you. They don't pray for you. They go to sleep. They do their own things. They are busy with their own lives. These disciples, they loved Jesus, but they felt so tired because it was during the night. They fell asleep. They late, because it was not going to happen to them. Whatever was going to happen to Jesus was not going to happen to them. It was going to happen to Jesus. So they didn't feel this thing that Jesus was feeling. They didn't have this grief that Jesus was having in his heart. So for that reason, it was easy for them to fall asleep. Jesus couldn't sleep. When you are about to go through, when you are going through that tough time, when you are going through that difficult time, the sleep does not come. The sleep does not come. You cannot even doze off. Even if you're at a comfortable place, you will not doze off. These disciples, they were near Jesus and they were at the mountain, but where they were, they didn't even have something to cover themselves, but they managed to fall asleep. Why? It is because what Jesus was going through, it was nothing to do with them. It was nothing to do with them. It was about It was about Jesus himself to pay the price. It was about Jesus himself to fulfill what he promised his Father. It was what agreement he had with his Father. It was for him to fulfill that. So I just want to encourage you to say, when you are going through that tough time, if you are going through that tough time now, I don't know whether you are going through it now or you went through it before. Maybe you did it the wrong way. But this time I want to encourage you to say, seek the face of God. It is okay to have those friends to tell them what you are going through. To tell them, I've lost somebody, or I'm going through a divorce, I'm going through a breakup, or somebody betrayed me. But when you are having those frustrations, those questions, that pain that comes in your heart, go to God and speak to him about it. Go and cry to God about it. Go and take the frustrations, all that questions, all that pain that you are having in your heart, go and speak to God about it. Because even if you speak to these people and tell them and a good example is when Jesus was with the disciples and having their last meal. If Jesus was to say everything else by pointing out that Judas is the one that is going to betray me and explain everything like, oh, those people now they are coming like to kind of like give them the whole insight, I'm sure the disciples would have taken action. They could have even attacked Judas, because they would have wanted to protect Jesus from the whole thing that was going to happen. But Jesus knew that this is not for them. And also when you are going through something, when you have lost somebody, when you are going through that tough time, you know that the one who's bringing this is the enemy, is not the other person. Is not, even if you share it and say, this person is what has done to me, they are not going to help you to solve it. The only thing that you need to do is to look unto God and say, Father, help me. Either take this away, because there are some other things that God will allow them to come into your life. God is going to allow you to go through those situations because he wants to strengthen your faith, and also he will allow them because he knows that you are strong enough to go through it. So I just wanted to encourage you. I just wanted to encourage you that when you are going through a tough time, it is not the time to take your frustrations to people. I don't mean like to rush out to them, no. But I mean it's not the time for you to open up your heart and be telling them everything that you are feeling, everything that is going on in your head, everything that is going on in your heart. Those things that are the things to give to God, not to give to people, because they do not have answers to your problems. They do not have answers to your problems. They do not even understand why God has allowed that to happen to you. The other thing that I've realized, I've noticed to what Jesus did when he was going through this tough time, and this thing that Jesus was about to go through, it wasn't the small thing. In my life, I've gone through a lot of things, but I cannot compare to anything like this, because this is death, and it is death that people are accusing you of something that you've not done. So the other thing that Jesus did when he was going through, it was a repetition. He repeated his prayer. He prayed the same prayer 3 times. The same prayer 3 times. Because sometimes we feel like, oh, I've prayed. I've already told God what I am feeling. I've prayed. I've already told him. He knows. Or else I don't even want to pray. He repeated the same thing. He went to ask God if he could take the cup from him. And on top of that, he even said again that 3 times, may I want not what I want, but may your will be done upon my life. So I just wanted to encourage you that troubles and trials and difficult times will come. But when that difficult time comes, it is not to people that you look up to. Yes, you go and find that support from that person that can support you. But do not lean on them because they don't have the answers to your problem. Instead, you have to lean to God. Okay, they will promise you, I will pray with you. They will promise you, we are standing with you in prayer, but they are not. Sometimes they are not. Some are. But maybe some will pray with you just today, tomorrow they are not. But you have to stand. That time when you are feeling pain, that time that you feel like you want to cry, don't go and cry to people. Go and cry before God. Go and cry before him. He will take your frustrations. And also Jesus, when he went to cry, he went to pray to God, God sent an angel to minister unto him. God sent an angel, to encourage him, to take, that frustration away from him. So God will send his angels, even if you don't see them. But when you finish praying, you will feel that sense of peace. You will feel that your shoulders are light. You will feel that, all that pain that you were feeling, you will feel that all that uncertainty that you were feeling is gone. And you will feel that you've got somebody there with you. So stay in prayer. Stay in prayer. Stay in prayer and trust God, because he knows what you're going through. But he needs you to go and speak to him. So I just wanted to encourage you. That when a day of frustration comes, when a day of troubles, when a day of sadness comes, look unto God. Those people that you want them to support you, they will only support you at a certain level. But God is always going to be there for you. I hope you've been blessed. God bless you. Bye-bye.